Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We are See, you're making me nervous, man. That's what's happening right here.
It's all good. You gotta love live-ish video.
We're documenting the journey of amazing entrepreneurs, one digital footprint at a time. Michelle Corr. Michelle Corr Media, the CEO, social media expert.
Yes, I'm the Chief Excellence Officer.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
CEO, Chief Excellence Officer.
That's right, yeah.
Exactly. What does that mean, Chief Excellence Officer? What do you make so excellent?
Well, hopefully everything, you know. For me, helping others reach and obtain their goal is the most important thing to me, but also everything I do is a reflection of the legacy that I leave behind. And that's what I help people do the most, is create a powerful magnetic brand that leaves a footprint, much like you're doing. I mean, we know that when you're in radio or TV or creating video or podcast, now you have an electronic tattoo for life. So the intention that you set here, not only for your guests, but for yourself, goes out forever. So we want it to be of the highest excellence and representation of the energy that you are.
An electronic tattoo, I kind of like that.
Yes.
I hadn't thought about that.
If people thought about that, they'd be more careful about what they put on Facebook and social media. Seriously, they don't. It's scary, some of the younger generations going, if you ever want to work in the workforce, that might not be a good idea right now.
It is. And I have a theory about that too, is because I think that we have become a very solipsistic society in that the world we are the center of the world and everybody just revolves around it.
Yes.
And so if I lose 15 pounds and I start looking pretty good and I start developing some muscle, my goodness, stop taking pictures of yourself. I don't care.
Yeah. I don't take selfies, I take feeties.
Okay.
Kind of like the roaming gnome, I'll take pictures of my feet and people are like, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm in Hawaii, oh, I'm in Alaska, oh, I'm in Arizona.
So you let your feeties do the talking, I suppose.
If you will, yeah. I'm just not a real selfie person, you know.
You are or you're not?
I am not, no, I do not do selfies.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think is that we have this compulsion to get on all the selfies, and how does that tie into developing a brand for yourself? Because I noticed that a lot of the people that are doing these things, they're self-employed themselves.
Well, I don't think most people truly understand brand. I meet a lot of people and they say, you know, they're in some aspect of marketing or advertising, and I'll tell them what I do and they say, oh, I do that. I'm like, I don't think so, because marketing is a function of branding. Branding comes first. So brand is the story people tell. Brand is truly comes from who are you? What are your universal and God-given gifts? What are your core values? What's your greatest passion and purpose? Because when you're on track living your passion and when you love what you do, as you know, and you're helping other entrepreneurs do, it's not work. Because it's your avocation, it's a career, it's not a job. There's a big difference. And then I think if people understood, everything we do is a reflection of us. And not always can we be different in our personal life and in our business life. So I think back to your selfie question,
sure.
I'm not saying you can't be who you are, but you know, when you're doing something that electronically goes out forever, people may want to have a little bit more intention as to what they're doing and how that might show up later for them. Obviously, if you're 20, you're not really thinking about sun damage, and if you got a tattoo right here or whatever, and when you're 40, you might go, what was I thinking? But we need to be thinking that, or drinking, yes. Right. We need to be thinking like that now. So again, it might be appropriate for who you are and what you're doing in the world, but I mean, I'm never about me. Even on my radio show, I get the greatest joy, maybe similar to you, is helping other people get their message out. Who are they? Why are they meaningful? And the second purpose I like to serve is my audience. How can I bring them incredible information, you know, and be of service to them? So I like both sides.
Do you work with companies that have existing brands and then they want to improve that brand or correct that brand? Or
Both.
Do you have a company that
Yeah.
just wants to get started?
You know what? And people ask me that question all the time. We have a
Really?
saying. Yeah, they do. Yeah. So we have a
Wow, I thought
saying.
it was
All entrepreneurs, big or small, equal rights for all. So whether you're a solopreneur and you have a thought that was on a lucky napkin and you want to turn it into something,
Right.
or you have an existing brand. You know, I have a team of partners, and in my team together we have about 75 years of experience between radio, TV, film, social media, product launch formula, and working with one of my partners, especially Fortune 50 brands. So what we do and how we do it doesn't really matter the client. It's more about working with someone who is passionate about what they do, and more, well, importantly to us, we can be passionate about what you do. I can't really promote someone I can't get excited about.
Sure.
I know there's a need for concrete, but I just can't get excited about it.
Sure.
And also what's important to myself and my team is that we're also working with ethical entrepreneurs. That sure, you have to have financial success in what you're doing, but we look to help them, if they don't already, have financial, cultural, social, and there's one more, ethical success. Like all of those need to be present in your business, because that's how true brands develop.
Be good, do good.
Yes.
What kind of background do you have? I mean, how do you become the Chief Excellence Officer?
I was gonna say currently there's like a stream, and no, I'm kidding, a moon and water. No, well, I actually very first started in graphic art. I mean, I've always loved visual. I'm a Virgo, so that's also where excellence or perfectionism comes in. I do. We should do another show on that, because people that don't believe in astrology, I'm like, are you okay with the fact that the Earth spinning around the sun creates the day or the year or the month we're in? Are you okay with the fact that the moon has direct influence on the tides? And then why wouldn't all the planets have an effect on us? So we can do another show on that.
Oh,
I can talk about anything.
Because I'm going to take the opposite argument, the opposite side, but just to argue. But anyways, so
you don't have to believe me, but it is happening. So,
so anyway, so tell me, look, you have this background. How do you get to be where you are? And so you have a background in graphic artist, and then what happens? Did you work for corporate America? Did you?
No, you know what happened was I decided I did not want to sit at a drafting table, because when I was doing graphic art, I mean, Adobe Photoshop was just being born almost, you know, so that didn't exist. And I really I love working collaboratively with a team, whether it's my team or whether I'm working with another existing team or a company or a business. And so I switched over to Walter Cronkite, broadcast journalism, and had an emphasis in television and film originally. And then ironically, I started working sports television. So ESPN, TNT, the Golf Channel, and I grew up in Alaska with my mom. So I can't say I was a great sports fan. We have the Iditarod and the Great Alaska Shootout. So I was like,
did you see that dog that just got killed?
No.
Yeah, like 2 months ago or something like that.
I did not.
There's a drunk sledder who ran over the. That's another show.
No, we got lots of shows. I'll be back. No.
You mentioned Alaska. Just
yes.
random fact.
I switched to Walter Cronkite. I worked in sports television for 6 years, and then I put my resume out there on Monster when Monster existed, or maybe they still do. I don't know.
Do they?
I don't know. And then I kept getting hits for radio, and I was like, radio? I'm like, audio, visual. There were 2 different mediums completely. And I was just telling your next guest that I started producing radio shows. I got hired as a producer, and after about 6 months, I was like, why am I not doing my own show? And I learned to love radio really quickly, because one, you don't have to do your hair, makeup, or wardrobe. It's a very nice effect. But I do have people. Thanks, Tina. And people hear your message. So, I mean, it's not as visual as it is now, you know, where there's podcasting and there's Facebook and all these different social media platforms. But people didn't know how old I was. They didn't know what I looked like. All they had to listen to was what I had to say, number one.
And your ability to describe the scene, and your ability to describe your environment, and to describe a situation.
Right, and they can paint their own picture in their mind. I mean, we've all read a book and then watched the movie, and we're like, oh, it didn't match, because we had a picture in our mind's eye of what that should have been like. So it's difficult. Also, the ability to have high-profile national guests. I love the fact that I can read a book and call the publisher and say, send me another copy. But I could get a hold of high-profile national people that were making a difference in the world, on some level.
What's the future of social media?
Oh, goodness.
Are we going to go more into the video realm?
Yes.
Because everything
yes,
Snapchat,
video.
everything is just very powerful, impactful.
Well, on many levels, and that's because true branding in media and impressions, it's about the more senses we can use, the more we retain. So when you read something, you retain a very small percentage of that. When you hear something, when you see something, but when they're occurring simultaneously, when you see, hear, and then have the ability to almost touch, taste, smell, as many senses as can be put together. That's why Facebook has now surpassed YouTube with video. And then all the capability and all the brilliant masterminding behind Facebook that helps us identify their audience. And with Facebook also owning Instagram, now you can, I think they just increased the commercials, or not the commercials, but the amount of video. It used to be like 15 seconds you could do on Instagram. Now, because Facebook alignment, you can do 30 or 60 in forms. I'm talking about the advertising side, of course, but I don't think it's not going away, but I think we do need to be more aware of how we utilize it, and if it could in some ways come back to haunt us.
Best advice you're going to give entrepreneurs that want to be like you?
Oh, I don't think anyone wants to be like me. They want to be like them. You know what? I think the best, of course, be yourself, but certainly find something you're passionate about. Too many people have got into a job or career because something led them there, but it wasn't necessarily a conscious choice. And of course, they're doing the right thing. Perhaps they have their own financial responsibilities or a family. But if you're not truly living and working in your passions, and if you could just try to trust that, like really look at who are you and what do you love and what makes you happy, and you will find a way, because the universe will conspire to work with you. And when we do true branding, it's not about how much money you have to get started or whatever. It's about having a vision and a passion. And when you start making that materialize and become real, the universe starts working with you. It's not foo-foo. It's brand alignment is law of attraction for business. So my greatest advice would be, do what you love and you will find a way to make money on it, and the world will start coming to you as well. Especially if your intention is to be of service in what you're doing, not only to yourself, but others.
To use your words, the world will conspire.
Yes.
To make you better.
Yes, I believe so.
And the future of social media, I think, is smell-o-vision. Can you smell the frankincense?
It could be. Yeah, Scratch and Snitch Stiff TV will be our next episode.
And with that, we're out.